Hello, everyone. My name is Eunice Kang, and this is
Gisele Esquivel.
and we are both SRL teacher ambassadors at PBS Student Reporting Labs. And we are in Washington, D.C. right now for a 4-day conference. And we met here because our mission is both amplifying student voices on digital platforms. And we're also strategizing how to coach other educators to do the same. So we'll be mentoring this upcoming year. But while we were here, I found out that Gisele was a Fulbright Fellow and that she went to Korea. And as a Korean American, I was just so excited about that. And I just wanted to hear more about your experiences and just encourage other college students, to go for the Fulbright and to also hear about your experiences in Korea. And so thank you so much for graciously, agreeing to this interview. So I'm just going to start us off. Can you tell us more about the Fulbright for those who don't know about Fulbright? Like, what is it? Like, how can people apply for it? And what's the mission of Fulbright?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for your excitement in wanting to do this interview. I'm super excited to talk about Fulbright. It's one of my most memorable experiences, but I don't think I have enough opportunity to share about it. So thank you for the platform. But what is Fulbright? So Fulbright is an opportunity for students and actually teachers too, to travel to another country for different reasons. So at least at the postgraduate level, you can go as a researcher and you can pick a topic of your choice and research something in a foreign country, or you can do the English teaching assistantship program, which is what I did. And I would say both of those are really valuable. One difference is that the researching program is only 1 year, whereas the English teaching assistantship is 3 years, and you can renew it up until 3 years. And so a little geeky thing, I chose to do it is because I was really passionate about Korean culture. I loved K-dramas, K-pop. So I kind of found my way through that passion to Fulbright. It wasn't that I found Fulbright first. It was more my goal was I want to visit South Korea. How can I do that?
And how can I do it for free too?
And for free, yes, and for free.
Because it's fully funded.
It's completely funded.
So they'll fund food,
Flight,
stipend, housing.
Yes, housing. And so housing will look different depending on the country. The model is very different. I have a friend who did it in Brazil and she was living at a university. I did it in South Korea, and the model in South Korea is that you stay with a homestay family.
Okay.
So we all got partnered with a family that was in some cases you were working with or living with a family who attended the school that you worked at, or maybe the parent was a teacher there, or they could have just been a community member that signed up.
Okay.
But you live in the community that you end up teaching in this case.
So for the Fulbright, they fund Americans to go to any country they want. Did you get to choose did you have a list of countries that you can go to?
Yes, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but there is a list of countries you can apply to, and the application process is different for each one. So you kind of have to know from the get-go where you want to go.
Okay.
And then based off of that, that's how you kind of do your application. Specifically for the English teaching, you want to have experience or show interest in going into education. That kind of makes your application stronger, as if you were applying for a teaching job. So I would say any tips to go that route would be looking for opportunities to work with after school programs. You don't have to be in an education major to do it.
So just any
major can do it. We had people who were interested in going to medical school, to go down the politics route. It's just showing an interest. And I think especially since you are a poli-sci international relations professor, something that's really helpful is showing that global interest. That experience also helps you long term. So I think finding connections to you and education and being in another country, the purpose of Fulbright is really that diplomacy. So building that relationship, learning about another culture. And I think the value of all the skills that you learn about being somewhere else and being a representative of the US, but also learning about another culture, I think is
So the purpose of the Fulbright is for to increase diplomacy between the U.S. and other countries. And so you were basically an ambassador.
Yeah. Yes,
the SRL ambassador.
Yes,
you were our United States ambassador to other countries, an informal one at least. Well, kind of official through the Fulbright.
Yeah.
And you did. I'm sure you represented our country so well, and everyone has a positive image because of you.
Well, it was fun because I got to think, I got to learn about what were people's first impressions of the U.S. And then maybe how I didn't meet the initial expectation of what that was. I think a lot of perceptions of Americans come from movies, as would for us for other countries too, right? And so I got to bring in a different perspective of what it means to be an American. So
it sounds like the program is free, but do you get a stipend too because you're teaching? It's like a job, right?
Yeah. So it is a very humble stipend, but because everything is covered, the only bill that I had to pay while I was there was my phone bill, and that was really cheap. all the rest of the stipend went to me, and I could use it for whatever I wanted.
Okay.
My meals were covered, so the homestay family gets a stipend for hosting me, and that
Oh.
covers meals. So I don't have to pay for
So it's just
housing.
you play for entertainment.
Really, yeah. Honestly,
Shopping.
yes, I went shopping. I ate.
Sightseeing.
I every weekend. So one thing is like there's like requirements on when you can travel outside of the country. So during the school year, I was only traveling within South Korea on weekends, and then whenever school had vacations, so like in the winter or summer, I was allowed to travel abroad.
Okay.
So that's when I took. That's like a really cool part because you have the opportunity to travel to other countries in Asia because they're so close by.
So when you were in Korea, did they where would you say, did they put you in a rural area or urban area? Where in relation to Seoul?
So I was in
capital?
Sejong시. If my memory is correct, I think I was maybe 2 hours away from Seoul max. But we were placed all over. I had a colleague who was placed in Jeju.
Oh, Jeju-do Island?
Yeah.
Oh, they call Jeju the Hawaii of Korea.
Yes, yes.
Oh, so that was a fun place.
So they were all over.
So even though you're 2 hours away, you can easily take the train in to, hang out in the capital, on the weekends at least. Things like that.
I mean, I could go to Jeju for the weekend. It was, I think one thing about Korea that I really loved is that it was so easy to travel. Train, bus, plane, really accessible. And because I had the stipend, I had the money for it. So.
And when you teach, what did a typical teaching day look like? Is it from 8 to 3? Are the hours different from the US in terms of teaching? Did you teach elementary?
I did elementary, and I want to say the schedule is fairly similar to here. The only difference is because, and again, the model varies by school. So some schools, they're like, this is your class, you build the curriculum, like you kind of own it. And then in some cases, you kind of have a co-teacher who is really the head teacher and you're kind of like an assistant. And then there's like a 50-50 model. For me in my school, it really depended on who my co-teacher was. I taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I worked with, I don't know, maybe like per grade, we had at least 4 classes. So I had 12 colleagues and every classroom teacher was different. So in some cases they were like, I want you to take like the lead on this. So it was really good for like practicing teaching because I had different mentors.
Okay.
Yeah. So in some cases I was kind of like observing them, learning from them. And I was really just assisting with like maybe coming up with one activity to like get the kids practicing. I learned a lot of games for practicing language learning, which was really fun. And then in some cases I was learning from the textbook, because they all worked with the same textbook. So there was like similar structure for how the lessons worked in elementary. So it varied. But because I wasn't the lead teacher, I didn't have a lot of planning to do.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So I think compared to like being a teacher in the US where you're like, you
lesson
own a
planning,
classroom, all the lesson planning, I rarely took work home. A lot of it was done in the school time with the
So once school is done,
I was basically done. Occasionally I might have to do like prepping a few materials, but it was really like you work during the school day.
So let's say you ended, what time did a typical school day end around, you said?
I want to say it was similar to here, like 9 to 3, I
9 to
believe.
3.
Yeah.
And after 3, what did that look like? Did you go straight to your homestay or?
So my homestay, I lived with 3 little girls. They were, at the time, I believe, 5, 7, and 9. So the 7 and 9-year-old, they went to Hagwon after school.
Okay, cram school.
Yes. So they had other activities, like I think they were doing computer science, karate, something else. The littlest one, she went to, I think they called it preschool. Yeah. And so I would pick her up because they all attended the school that I went to.
Oh,
but the preschool was right next
your
door.
Homestay family's kids.
Yeah, they were my
their teacher.
Once they got to the higher grades, so the youngest ones didn't have me as a teacher. And so what I would do is I would get out of school. My homestay mom was working, so she would ask me if I could pick up the littlest one.
Oh, nice.
So that was honestly one of my favorite memories because I would pick her up and we would go get sweatbing, which is Korean ice cream. We'd go to a
shaved
cafe.
ice.
Yes. We'd go to a playground together, and that was my time to practice Korean with her.
Oh, I see. Yes. So you kind of did a little bit of babysitting too.
Yes.
Yeah, but then she was your tutor, your Korean tutor, so it all worked out. And you mentioned shaved ice, pupping suit in Korean, but can I ask, while you were there for a year and you said that you extended the Fulbright,
I did 2 years.
You have to reapply?
Yeah, but it wasn't as extensive of a process. It was more like, why do you want to reapply? And then I might have needed a reference from my school, talking, like they would review how my year went.
For the second year that you were at the same school, not a different city or a different school?
You could opt to change it. But I really loved it. Yeah, I love my homestay family. They were so, like, my homestay mom is like a second mom to me, even though she was like,
and you still keep in contact with them now?
Yeah, we're friends on Instagram.
Oh my
the girls are like now in high school and middle school, and
so it's been like 10-ish.
Oh my gosh, that was in 20. I came back in 2018. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So you stayed there for 2 years. I mean, how did you like Korean food? Like, do you like spicy food? It's known for its red pepper flakes and things like that?
So I'm Colombian and our cuisine is not spicy at all.
Okay.
But I think I built some tolerance being in Korea.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. No, I absolutely loved it. I think it's been so long since I've been there that my tolerance has like.
Can you rattle off some of the Korean dishes you tried, or like in the English translation of it?
I'll try.
Okay, I'll help too.
Yeah, so my favorite was cheese takalbi, which is like a stir-fried cheese with like, not stir-fried chicken with cheese on top, and then with rice. Fantastic, spicy. Yeah. I also really loved kalguksu.
Kalguksu. Oh, that's like hand-torn noodles.
Yes, yeah. And then I really like sundubu jjigae.
Sundubu tofu
stew. Oh my gosh, that was good.
Okay.
And there was a hangover stew that was really good.
There's different, it's like, what's your favorite hangover soup? And there's different types.
I'm blanking on the name.
Is it made out of like miso? Like the doenjang?
No, it's like a clear broth. Solongtang.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's really good.
That hit the spot.
Okay, okay.
That was my favorite.
All right. Okay, do you make any of them at all, or do you like crave any of them even now?
Yes. I mean, definitely solongtang. That was just like a nice one. Oh, and actually juk. On a day that
rice
like if it's rainy outside or you're feeling a little sick, it just like was homey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aside from the food, can I ask, like, what's one thing that you noticed about Koreans in terms of their behavior or attitudes or mindset that's really different from America? Whether it's, I don't know, interactions with people or dating, or I don't know what that looks like, or even like things, how their metro works, or something on the systemic level or societal level, anything.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference? Like, oh, that's different.
I mean, one thing is like the transportation system was super efficient, affordable, and clean. I think we could definitely learn from that here. And then another thing, I guess I would say, maybe because of the setting, like the reason why I was there, that I was like a foreigner trying to learn about the culture and that diplomacy that like Fulbright promotes, it was really easy to have like intercultural conversations that I think maybe here it's like maybe uncomfortable to bring up, or you're nervous to bring up because you're afraid to offend somebody. I feel like it was very easy to say like, what is it like in your culture? Oh, that's different in mine. And just be very open-minded about like, oh, those differences, and like appreciate those differences. I had really cool conversations with colleagues about that. And and not that you can't have those conversations here, but I think we tread more carefully. Yeah. But that setting allowed us to kind of be very open and share.
Do you find that the Koreans there are receptive to foreigners?
I mean, it varied.
Overall?
Yeah. I think in general, like I felt super welcome. People were really excited when they heard that I was trying to learn Korean. They were like, oh, wow. And
they're really receptive to those who try to speak it.
Yeah. And I think even like taking opportunities to learn about the culture, the food. I think going to a restaurant that maybe didn't have like the viral food that like foreigners typically go for. Going to spots that are more like local that I think are harder to find. That was like really very much appreciated. But then, I mean, as any place, right? Like I think in a rural area, I definitely got some stares. Yeah. Not that it was like,
and they'll stare.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like very blatantly. So that was like very interesting for me. But I think it was good for me to experience that. Yeah.
Very cool. So you'll go into a restaurant, right? And maybe sometimes it's rural. So what did you say in Korean that would like spark their interest in you and be totally receptive to you? Like what was your thing that you said to kind of like, you just sit down at the restaurant and be like,
I mean, even just going beyond the basics of hello, like being able to say like 한잔 주세요, or like or ordering a dish that like maybe is like that people will perceive as like not the most attractive, as like 된장찌개 or I think just being able to say things like that, or complimenting the chef afterwards. Like that.
And how good is your Korean? Like, can you introduce yourself in Korean? Can you do like a self-intro?
Yeah, it's reduced a lot because I haven't been practicing. But I was able to speak a lot there. I can say 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
저는 지셀입니다. 미국 사람이에요.
Oh, nice. I'm an American.
한국에서 외국 사람, 외국인, and I think I also use there's a word. I'm blanking on it, but there was a word I would use as like a foreign teacher specifically that I can't think of right now.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Nice. No, that's really good. 한국말 잘하네.
No.
한국말 너무 잘해요.
다 거의 귀엽지 않아요?
한국말 할 때 되게 귀여워요. Yeah, Gisele 씨. Oh my gosh. So, what's your favorite Korean drama now? Any favorite Korean K-pop group, or maybe name the K-pop group or Korean drama that you watched that made you want to go to Korea in the first place to Fulbright.
So my entryway,
Was
it was like the gateway drug into Korean culture, was Tell Me by Wonder Girls.
Tell Me by Wonder Girls.
I found it on YouTube and then went down a rabbit hole.
Tell me.
I learned the dance. I got into Big Bang, Sonyeoside. Yeah.
And you danced, you learned K-pop. Like you were part
college,
of the K-pop dance crew?
Yes, I was.
Amazing.
It was fun. It was really
so funny. Oh my gosh. And can I ask you now, it's been almost 10 years. You went in 2007. It's 2026 now. When you look back at your Fulbright experience and in Korea, how has that experience impacted your future, your job, your family, your mindset, like how you approach life, like with that cultural experience, like how, any impact?
Yeah. I think like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I knew that I wanted to go to Korea. And I think that experience helped me figure out what I wanted to do. I was in high school, I was the only Latina in a primarily white school, in primarily white, like honors classes.
Okay.
And I was just very aware of the differences. I had excellent educational opportunities, awesome, like classmates and teachers, but I just definitely felt different.
Okay.
And it's ironic to me now that I went to South Korea where I really was different. But that experience really helped me appreciate the differences and like the beauty of cultures and like being able to find those connections across cultural differences. And so having like people stare at me or like ask questions that maybe here's like, oh, why'd you ask that? But it helps you find like a bridge between language, between culture, food, like those commonalities. I think that was really eye-opening for me.
Okay.
And after that experience, I was like, I want to go back into the classroom. I want to be a teacher. And I'd love for my students to see like, this is possible. Like you can travel across the world in 18-hour time difference, you know? And like, if you're into, for me, it was K-dramas. For them, it might be something else. But like, you can actually go there. You can actually try this. You can actually experience this. So that was like what kind of drove me into education.
You can have your K-drama experience like on the streets of Seoul.
Yes.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how, and 10 being the highest, like what would you rate in terms of recommending college students, maybe in their senior year, is it, to apply for the Fulbright? And it's a prestigious Fulbright, so it's really hard to get into. But would you highly recommend it, like at a scale of 1 to 10?
Absolutely. It's fully paid for. You get to travel. Like I said, in my vacation time, I got to travel to other countries. And that was really affordable because I was already in Asia, so I could visit other Asian countries.
And as an insider, do you have any insider tips of what they're really looking for? You know,
I think because the goal is diplomacy, like showing that interest in being like a global citizen and how you can be a representative of the U.S. and how you and what you're hoping to learn from that and how you can bring that back here, I think is also a really important thing to think about. Like, how are you supporting the U.S. after that? How are you taking those experiences and bringing them here? I think that is really valuable.
And it's the 250th anniversary of the U.S. And so, to be a good representative, that's a really important. To close, I just want to end with something else we have in common besides our love for Korean food and Korean culture and even studying at Yonsei University, is our appreciating, being part of SRL Teacher Ambassador. I just want to talk a little bit about that. The past 4 days, we learned some of the production tools, technical tools, interviewing tools to amplify student voices in video and audio production. And how to mentor other students, to multiply ourselves, and to empower other students, other teachers to do the same, educators to do the same. Can you share just your biggest takeaway from this experience? Like, what did you gain, through this? What's the biggest thing you took out of it?
I think the biggest thing is like, you really don't need much to get started when it comes to creating media. Even the smallest amount of equipment, whether it's your phone or even just like a mic, whatever, or even without a mic. We learned some really cool tips on how to improve sound, like using a pillow, using a blanket to really improve sound wherever you are. It's possible to create something big with something small. And you mentioned that earlier, like with the small team of people, we can do a lot of great things. With a small amount of equipment, you can do great things. So there's like there's no barrier for entry, I think.
And my mission at Vanguard University is to equip college students, but you go younger. It's amazing. What can you tell us a little bit more, like your age group and your vision for at your school and your workplace?
So
your role there.
I work at Ocean State Media. I'm part of the education and community team. And
in Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island, yes, thank you. And part of my role is doing outreach to all grade levels, all ages, actually, even beyond K through 12 in college. And I started working in journalism or student media creation, specifically with elementary students. That was kind of my entry point.
That's amazing. Like you think like, oh, maybe high school students, and you're like, no, I'm going to go for the elementary school students. Yeah, that's amazing.
They have stories to tell too, and they're excited to tell them. So
oh my gosh. You don't think they're too young?
No.
They're, yeah. That's amazing.
Obviously, you're going to approach it a different way, but they have the voice. They have the stories that they want to tell. They're excited to tell it. And I would actually even argue that because they're so young, they're not afraid to look silly on camera. So it might be a good point to like even be like, you know, just try things out. It's a good age to just experiment and set a foundation for media creation, I think.
Okay, very good. Can you just do one last message to those who are like kind of like on the fence of like educators that are thinking about, should I try video production as part of my classroom, you know, assignments, or any last plug about SRL in general or resources like Storymaker, anything?
Yeah.
Last closing message on
I mean, I think like one of the benefits of joining SRL in any capacity, which is actually a really great point, you don't have to go all in and like participate in all the competitions. It could be as small as like just checking out a resource and trying one of the how-to videos.
Yeah.
Something as small as that, I think, is just a great way to enhance a project that you're working on, whether it's a student or a teacher being like, I'm not sure how to introduce student media in my class, but I want to try something out. You could just do a small video and have them try like a rapid response video, like something really quick and easy, and just see the impact from there.
Yeah, just Google SRL, Storymaker, PBS.
You can even probably just type like rapid response on YouTube and find the video. SRL or rapid response, and they have a quick video.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you so much, Gisele, again, for just joining me on this interview. I know that it was impromptu, but you're just such an amazing person with your experience at Fulbright in Korea, the great work that you're doing in Rhode Island. I mean, Rhode Island is really lucky to have such a passionate, and creative person to want to bring, to amplify student voices, to the rest of the world globally, really. And thank you so much for your time and your expertise.
Thank
you. And how do you say goodbye in Korean again?
안녕히 계세요.
안녕히 계세요.
That's fun.